Hello YouTube, this is Travis Dunn with MDL, and this is my vlog for Wednesday, but I have no idea what the date is. It tells you the kind of week that I've been having. A little late on the vlog. Needless to say, it has been a highly expensive week at the Dunn household. We did finally get the heating and central air installed. Took a little longer than kind of a plan, but the guy doing it didn't have his helper for the days that we were set up to install it. So ended up being he got pretty much most of it done on Monday. Obviously the furnace and everything was up and running. It was just really the central air and the back room vent that he had to finish up on Tuesday. So wonderful to have good heat, and hopefully it'll be more efficient than what we had in the past. Now that said, that was $5,000 when I wrote the final check, and you know, while I was not happy with what I spent, I was happy with what I got. And you know, inadvertently, right after that, I had come home. I was going to go to the gym, and in fact, I'll talk about that in a minute. I was going to go to the gym, but I wasn't feeling too well, so I went home, went straight to bed, and figured I would get up and go to the gym, because I would have time to do that, and because kids were out of school last week. So I laid down, went to sleep, got up, and the kids are like, "Dad, Mom said there's something wrong with the car. She took yours." I'm like, "Oh, great." For a couple of different reasons. One, I had originally planned on going right after work. So I had taken my gym clothes with me. I'd already changed my gym clothes. I had my wallet in my bag that I take to the gym with me. Obviously, it was still in the car. So even if I could have done anything that day, I couldn't because I didn't have my wallet. So what had happened was she went out to leave, unlocked the car, and the windshield wiper started acting funny without the car on. And I'll be honest, we've been having some electrical gremlins kind of with that car for a little while now. Though it wasn't apparent very early, it now is very apparent that the heating and air conditioning, like if you turn the volume on when you first start the car up, it would take noticeably countable seconds before it would the blower fan would actually kick on. And I just attributed it to, you know, just the way it worked. It's pretty much done almost as long as we've owned the car. One of the other electrical gremlins that we've had, the car would unlock with the key fob, but it didn't always want to lock with the key fob. It would lock with the button, but not always the key fob. And so inadvertently, you know, we had that problem, and then now this problem with the windshield wipers. Obviously, my first thing was to test the electrical. So, you know, I took my multimeter out, started probing, and it was looking like it was getting the right voltage 99% of the time. So I'm like, well, maybe it's just a bad motor. You know, they do go bad from time to time. You know, windshield wiper motors. And I'll be honest, of any car I've ever had, I've never replaced one. That's one component that's just have never gone bad. I've never had to replace a windshield wiper motor. And considering how new the car was, or is, it's 2011, wasn't kind of what I was expecting to have to do. But, okay, whatever. So I got a new wiper motor, and I wanted to test it first, because obviously I wanted to make sure that that was the problem. So I unplugged the old one, plugged the new one in, just kind of sitting there, and it's still acting ridiculously funny. And then I probe it again, and none of the numbers are making sense. The numbers are all over the place as far as the voltages and things like that. So I kind of go through the next step. I do a little internet research, and apparently the Dodge Calibers are not as mostly known for it, but the Dodge Caravans and I think the Dodge Rams are notoriously known for what is effectively called a TIPM, a Total Integrated Power Management Controller, which is basically a computerized fancy fuse box, because all the fuses are under the hood, not inside the cabin. And so, okay, I'm thinking, all right, well, what's this thing going to cost me? So I start looking around. $550, $600. Nobody has them in stock. Has to be ordered. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then I'm reading in some forum posts that dealers are charging $1,000 to replace these things. And I'm just like, and then I see, apparently at one point there was a lawsuit against Chrysler for it, because some of the Dodge Caravans were so notoriously bad about these units failing. And obviously they control everything. You know, they send power to every part of the car. So a very important piece. And why it's computerized, I really don't know. I'm sure there was some reasoning behind it, but to me, from both a money standpoint, and that's something that, you know, car makers really emphasize, whether it makes sense on paper. Why you would use, you know, anything other than really a standard fuse panel just doesn't make sense to me. But I digress. So I look around and I find rockauto.com has them in stock, and it ends up being it's basically with next business day shipping, it was going to be just a hair over $500, and that's with the core charge. Now, the $550 that I was talking before, with some of the other auto parts stores, that was not including the core. That was still a $200 core on top of that. So for them to have it for roughly about $300, and you know, and a $200 core, you know, obviously it wasn't going to take. It was going to be just as long to get that in as it was going to order it from an auto parts store. So, wow. Someone's walking across the 4-lane street. So obviously, you know, I chose that option. And I want to thank rockauto.com, even though, you know, they're not a sponsor or anything like that. I ordered it early Friday afternoon, I want to say about 1:30. They shipped it out that day. So I got it on a Monday and got it installed, and everything else was functioning like it was supposed to, with the exception, the wipers were still acting funny. They were functioning, but they weren't quite functioning right. They weren't were doing the exact command from the switch, and I'd held on to the wiper motor because I wasn't 100% sure that still wasn't part of the problem. So I again plug it in, test it. Seems like it's working fine. So I take the whole thing apart, put the windshield wiper motor in. Everything is working fine. Knock on wood. So far, I've not had any more problems with it. But, you know, some people might say, well, why didn't I go to a junkyard and get one used? And I've done that with a lot of parts. Unfortunately, this particular component, because it is electronic, is VIN coded, which means it looks at the VIN code from the ECU. And they are reprogrammable. And in fact, the replacement module I got had a procedure for turning the ignition key on and off, blah, blah, blah. So it would program with the VIN because they VIN cleared it. But if I got a used one, I would have to have it taken to a dealer and have it reprogrammed. That obviously would probably add a couple $100 to the cost. So, you know, $100, you know, roughly $100 module that might work, it's still going to probably cost me $300 to, once it was all said and done. And at least in this case, the module I got has a warranty with it. And so, you know, you got to weigh your pros and cons in those situations. But so as of right now, everything was good. Obviously, the very next day, I wouldn't let my wife drive it because I prefer to have the car at least a day to, make sure everything's good and working, make sure everything's tight. And for a while now, I kind of noticed that the car was pulling a little bit to the right. The steering wheel wasn't straight. So I'm like, screw it. I've already spent $600. I might as well take it in and have the alignment done. Well, needless to say, it was way out of alignment, and it required a 4-wheel alignment. So it cost me another $100. So I basically spent $700 in the course of about 4 days, just on that, just on my wife's car. Definitely came out of left field, and considering we just spent out $5,000 for the furnace, that wasn't real pleasant. So yeah, definitely, if you have a late model Dodge product, like I said, the Caravans, the Calibers, the Dodge Rams, I want to say also some of the Dodge Chargers, and probably the Dodge Magnum all probably have the same fuse panel, and I'll show a picture of what it looks like. And you start having weird electrical gremlins, start looking at that module. And don't be afraid to order from rockauto.com. And some people, don't like ordering that kind of stuff. They'd rather get it local. And I understand that. Obviously, when you need a replacement, it's usually a lot quicker and better and faster. But sometimes when you need those obscure parts, and I ran in that situation with my Focus, I was having the battery light kept flashing on and off, and sometimes it would just stay on. And so what I determined was there was something wrong with the power wire going from the alternator to the starter to the battery. Unfortunately, it wasn't just a piece of wire. It wasn't. It was a piece of wire, but it had some other tie-in electrical connection for something else in the harness. And I would assume it was probably something to do with a sensor or something that told how much voltage, obviously the alternator was producing and whatnot, that would flash the battery light. And I looked around, couldn't find a new one. I even had checked the dealer. They said, obviously the car was too, this was just a couple of years ago. So, 2000 to, let's say 2012-ish. And obviously they said, it's a part they don't no longer can get. Even if they could get it, it was like $400 or $500, which is really, really stupid considering what it is. And just so happened, I was looking around online, and rockauto.com didn't have a picture of it, but the description matched what I was looking for. So I bit the bullet. It was $50. I bit the bullet, bought it. It was the exact part that I needed, had everything. I won't say it was an easy install, but that was more of a design problem than it was the component. The component was exactly what I needed to replace. So like I said, don't if you need a part and you're not in a super hurry, but even though, like I said, they did a really great job of getting that thing sent out. Like I said, it went out on a Friday. I got it on a Monday. And don't get me wrong, it was only coming out of Pennsylvania. But certainly, if you need a part and they've got it, they're a reputable business to deal with. Like I said, this is the second component that I have ordered from them, and it's been exactly what I needed, exactly what I wanted, and the price was right. Well, price was better. Let's say that. I still think $300 was kind of expensive, but so. The kids obviously have been keeping me very, very busy, which has been kind of a nightmare, especially with being down to one car for pretty much an almost week. And in fact, I'm on the way now to pick up the son from workout at the school. I basically got to zip home, grab the daughter, and she's going for her cheerleading tryout practices. We don't know yet if she'll make it. But to be very honest, I'm very apprehensive of letting her cheer, particularly for this coach. This particular coach came from another school, kind of an uppity school, and she's wanting to do kind of some of the things that she was doing at that school. And frankly, the cost that we will have to be shelling out is atrocious. For her to participate. and I'm not real happy about it. Not to mention the fact that they've been a bit snooty to the parents. They've had closed tryouts where they're not supposedly letting people in, parents and stuff in to watch their kids, and I think that's wrong. This isn't just a sport for the kids. This is a sport for the parents. And football and basketball, it's just much about the parents as it is the kids. It teaches the kids a lot of things, but it also gives the parents something to enjoy. And I when I can, I do enjoy going to my son's football games when it's not freezing my ass off. But, that comes with playing sports, especially outdoor sports. But, yeah, I'm not real happy. They're talking about over $400 worth of stuff that we would have to buy if she makes the team. And I'm not convinced. I'll be honest, I'm very tempted to let her play another sport. I'd love to see her do volleyball. I think she'd have a lot of fun with volleyball. But, she loves to cheer. It's why she went to gymnastics, and we did all that and got her, where she can do her tumbles and flips and all that good stuff. And, it is what she enjoys. And I'll be honest, I'm less thrilled about cheerleading personally, but, I'm a guy, I shouldn't. But I see all the kind of crap on these TV shows for cheerleading competitions and, if you want to call it dance competitions and things like that. My daughter and wife just watch the living hell out of those shows. I can't stand them for 5 seconds. It's too much, at each other. And unfortunately, I'm starting, especially with the cheerleading now, it's starting to look like one of those TV shows. And I absolutely will refuse to let my daughter be involved in that kind of atmosphere. It's not healthy. It's not, it should be just as much about having fun as it is learning skills. And, and when it's no longer that, it's no longer important to me. And I know that's probably a bad way to say that or talk about that, but just how I feel about it. But, yeah, like I said, it's been a really nutty week. I have been running my ass off. Obviously fixing the car. I had to do it in the cold, and that's one of the reasons why, I obviously have the SD project, and I want to do car videos and repair videos, but obviously I was in a very big hurry to get it done because I couldn't afford to have that car down anymore, and it was really cold, and I didn't have like one of the kids available to help me do some of that stuff, which most of it was really simple. I'll be honest, replacing that fuse panel was seriously simple. Why dealerships were charging $1,000 unless the part was like $900, even though that's an atrocious price. It didn't take me 15 minutes to actually put in. It's all plug and play. Everything unplugged, pops off, unplugs, plugs it in, snaps it down. It's held down with snaps. It's not even held down with any type of bolts. The only bolt you take off is the main power wire going from the battery to the fuse panel. So it is what it is. But yeah, and I imagine the next few weeks are going to be really, really nutty. Even today, Faith had some tutoring. She needs some tutoring in one of her classes. So she's not getting out of school until like 4:15. So today, because of work, I had to go pick her up, take her home. I was home for about 15 minutes. And I'm on my way to pick up my son from workout, take him home. I'll be home for like another maybe 10 minutes, which will be me packing up for work. Then I got to take her to cheerleading and then go to work. And I had to, before I even went and picked my daughter up, I had to get up, take my shower, and get a lot of my stuff ready for work anyway, because I'm not even going to have time to make dinner. Unfortunately, my wife is going to have to, she's going to have to make dinner. And, yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So, looks like they're just starting to get out of practice. So we'll see my son here in just a minute. So yeah, like I said, it's been absolutely crazy. Obviously we've had to work around a little bit of work, being down to one car, and this weekend I promised my wife that I was going to take both her sister and my son to their visitations. So yeah, it was just, like I said, it was a very, very long weekend, which is why I didn't vlog at all. And but I had been working on the bike a little bit. It is technically back together. I can't remember if I mentioned in my last vlog. I got a set of risers, and I got them on, and I really like them. They're it's 5.5. It's 4.5 up, 1 inch back, so they're 1/2 inch taller, 1 inch further back from the original risers, and I'm really enjoying those. I have both sets of brake pads now for the bike. Obviously, I got to still do that yet. I did pick up a little tool bag for the front of the bike, and I'm still in the hunt of a windshield. I thought actually I went to Iron Pony, and I thought I had found a windshield. I really liked the style. I think it would look good on the bike, but apparently it was styled for the metrics. So for whatever reason, the mounting hardware that I would have had to purchase for it wouldn't fit the Harley. They make a version almost identical, but you know, the metric one was $50. I think I had it for $54, something like that, which is almost like half the price of what it normally runs. I mean, I may still attempt to call up there and ask if they actually carry the version for the Harley, but it goes by a completely different name. But honestly, it looks identical in pictures, but you never know when you're looking at a picture if it's the exact product or not. So the windshield is kind of what I'm down to, and then I've got a vent hose I need to buy. I have all the paint or all the dip color. I have all the plasti dip to do the copper plasti dip. At least I think I do. I have enough, and so obviously that's something I want to take care of. But you know, if I can get the windshield and my son.
Hi.
What's up, bub? I'm vlogging.
Oh, are you?
I'm vlogging. So anyway, yeah. Speaking of the action camera, that's something else I'm gonna have to replace. Because for whatever reason now it did all kinds of weird, artifacts, and I mean the colors were just way off, and God, this person was in a fucking hurry. Oh, of course you are, you dickhead.
Beep.
So
That's trying to fit an ointment, so.
anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to break down and buy a GoPro. I've been kind of looking at them for a while now, and I've just been, I should have bought one to begin with.
What, when we actually had the money?
Well, even then, when I bought that particular one, it was kind of a fluke. It was on clearance, and I kind of wanted to see what an action camera. Wasn't even sure I was going to be doing what I'm doing now, and so I didn't want to spend a bunch of money. But now the base GoPro, I think, is $120.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the new base, or the base model now is $120 because I think they're going to, the way they're talking, they're going to discontinue it. So
Doing good now.
yeah, I think I'm gonna end up picking up at least one. I'd like to pick up two. I may try.
Mom will probably not let you.
Yeah, well, what your mom doesn't know.
Oh yeah, because she doesn't look at the.
She don't look at the bank account much. Yes, I know.
Only when she's getting ready to make a really big purchase.
Here lately, it's been a line of large purchases.
Yep. Actually, no, because over spring break, you made one.
But,
The cheapest man in the world.
oh, shut up.
Hey, I'm not that cheap.
So anyway, I've been playing Arma 3. I've talked about it in my vlog. He went ahead and gave me the money, and I purchased Arma 3 for him to play on his computer. Unfortunately, it plays like crap.
And it doesn't do it that bad.
It does to me. Considering I don't like playing for less than 30 frames a second, and I have a hard time when there's a lot of people
problems
on.
when it hit 9 frames. When it hits 9 frames is when I have problems.
Yeah, his system's only been running like 15 to 25.
I've been getting 22 lately. 22.
Mine normally does 25, 35. Obviously, I have a much more powerful desktop than he does.
I don't play much on my computer.
You go through your moments.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm squeezing.
Like, didn't I have like that 6-month period where I was just on my computer 24/7?
Yeah, you did have a nice spurt there for a while, but you were like, because you were playing Minecraft and
I was playing Minecraft, Fallout,
Borderlands,
pre-sequel, definitely. What else was there? Guild Wars.
Yeah,
Guild Wars
we were doing some Guild Wars at that time, but
we haven't done that.
He goes back and forth. He's been back to playing Destiny and Call of Duty, but
gotta start back where my origins are. Hey, you guys taught me how to play the Xbox, okay? So it's your fault, not mine.
Well, I don't want to hear it.
Well, it's yours and Doc's,
but yeah, we've I kind of want to do an AMD build for him, and that's just because obviously I have an Intel, and it'd be kind of cool to have an AMD build in the house with AMD hardware, but the price wise, I would rather spend that kind of money than an Intel. But in the same boat, I want an i7, and I'm like, maybe I should just go ahead and fork out the money for an i7, let him pay for a 1150 motherboard, and then upgrade his machine with my i5, which I know is more than powerful enough to run what he would want to play, and probably for a good long while. Once we get him another video card, but
yeah.
I don't know. That's something we'll probably be discussing in the near future. Obviously, his birthday will be coming up here in a couple of months, and we'll see where we're at money wise and what works out.
Hey, remember we're doing paintball for my birthday.
Yes, we're gonna do paintball, so you can shoot your mother in the back.
And my sister. And Tiff, if she wants to come.
Oh, I'm sure she'll want to come. No news on the niece thing. That's who he's talking about. We are still waiting on something from a court stating that there's a court date. I don't know why the big holdup, but so far we have not gotten any notice of a court date or anything like that. We really would love to get this stuff situated, but unfortunately that's something that was being held up at the moment. Yesterday was, we'll call it StarWars Day.
Oh yeah.
Because Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out.
But it's not May the 4th.
Yeah, it's not May the 4th. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised they did. That would have actually been kind of cool. I mean,
they released it on May the 4th.
On May the 4th, that would have.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, that would have been a good promotion. They should have done that. Don't get me wrong. I hated waiting as long as I did, but
I think, what is it? Rebels are gonna have like a full marathon the entire week of May the 4th.
Oh yeah, they always do. They always have some type of marathon
week, not just a day.
Well, they'll do all the movies too.
True.
Usually like USA or Spike or something. Usually we'll end up doing all the Star Wars movies that week, finishing up on May the 4th. But yeah, it was just as good a movie rewatching it as it was when we went and seen it in the theaters. And and I understand some of the criticism. Some people was like, well, the story wasn't that original and blah blah blah. But it was kind of an homage to both the original movies, not the prequels. But it was designed to set up the next line of movies, and I'm sure I hate to say it, but I was kind of sad to know that J.J. Abrams wasn't going to do the next movie.
Yeah.
No, he's not doing the next one. Because I think he's doing, I could be wrong, but I think he's doing another Star Trek one. He's got a bunch of movies in line. So, yeah, it just wasn't going to work out for him as far as doing another Star Wars movie. But yeah, I mean, he did an awesome job, I thought, with the story, and
yeah,
they definitely left a lot of mystery in there. I'm really hoping that some of that stuff they're going to clear up in the next movie. But I have a feeling the way it sounds, a lot of it is in like the comic books and the books that are canon tied to the movies that you would have to buy to get all the little detail stories.
Clone Wars.
Well, it's not even Clone Wars. It's stuff that there were certain comics and books that dealt with the basically the lead up prior to the movie, and I'm pretty sure that probably fills in all the details of some of the characters and some of the not so hidden, well, some of the hidden plot that isn't that well explained in the movie, but. Yeah, definitely something that I will continue to go and see. I'm kind of excited for Rogue One, though I think in a way it almost feels like it should have been it should be like a miniseries cartoon than a movie to me, though. Rogue One is supposed to be the story of the team that stole the Death Star plans. And considering we already know that those plans were kind of leaked on purpose, though I think the scope of the plans that they stole were more than the Empire thought. But inadvertently, it was just it's a story arc that I don't know needs told, I guess. It could have been a book, it could be a cartoon, miniseries, but I just don't think it warrants a movie. The movie I'm more interested in would be the Han Solo origin story. I think that would be a really cool one.
Han Solo's and Chewbacca's origin story.
Huh?
Han Solo and Chewbacca's origin story.
Well, I mean, we sort of know a little bit on Chewbacca because of somewhat of his interaction in the Clone Wars. And
I thought it was the Rebels where he full blown came out.
I believe he did fight
alongside with the beginning of the Rebel Alliance.
I don't know about the Rebels, but as far as in the Clone Wars, I believe he was part of some of the battles.
Wouldn't he be a young Wookiee during the Clone Wars?
Yeah, he was young then, and I think Wookiees live a couple hundred years, so.
AD is 99-0.
And but yeah, like I said, it was a good story, and we all enjoyed it. Obviously, it was good enough for me to buy, and I will stand by the fact that I will not buy the original trilogy until they come out with it in its theatrical form. I just can't. I can't stand the remake, the whatever you want to call it, remakes, director's cut, whatever. I just can't stand to purchase them in that form. I don't mind if those are sort of included in with it as a play option, but I have no interest in buying them until that has been edited. I am curious though if George Lucas made stipulations to that when Disney bought the series. But we'll see. We'll see if they manage to undo that damage. Gosh, what else? What else is going? I feel like we got something coming up that I can't recall.
What month is it? April. Well, we got Origins coming up.
Origins come up at the end of June, but I haven't decided 100% sure if I'm going. .con gave me some crap when I said I wasn't sure.
Why wouldn't we be going? We go every year.
Well, we do go every year, but I'll be honest, the only thing I want to go for is to see Grant Wilson and pick up his next game. That is really about the only reason I have like a big desire to go to Origins this year. And because we've gone every year, you know, you kind of get you see a lot of the same stuff. You know, for the last few years, I bought a lot of the things that I wanted. So if I didn't get it the first year, I would get it the next year and next year and next year. And I'm kind of down to, you know, only a few things that I really want to pick up. But it is also falling around the same time that my stepdad is taking his vacation. And I think that's when we're going to try to do our road trip on motorcycles, if we can. We'll do some type of motorcycle riding unless the weather is complete shit. And then, you know.
Are you guys taking your road trip too?
Don't know yet. That's still up in the air. It could be as short as going just over the border into West Virginia to Hillbilly Hot Dogs. It could be a lot further. It's going to really depend on where we're at financially, and you know how many days off we have available, and the weather, and all that good stuff. So, like I said, it's going to vary based on you know what's available to us at that time. Hopefully, I won't have any more breakdowns of cars anytime soon. But anyway, so I think that's where I'm going to end this vlog. I hope everybody has a great day, has a great week, and thanks for watching. Have a good day. Later.